All right, final review of Netflix month. Now, just change out of my outfit, but first, let's get on with the intro first.
It's showtime.
What's going on, nomads, party people, and strangers everywhere across the internet? As you can see, I dusted off my old outfit because, well, this is an important occasion where I'm going to try and be as serious as possible when I talk to you guys about Dave Chappelle's new stand-up stuff that he's been doing since 2016, 2017, but counting in the pre-recording time and then during the tour that he did, so we'll count in 2015, 14 possibly, of 2014 to 2017, and potential stuff that he may or may not do over the next few years. So that small little 3-year span leading into this year. That seems about right, and we'll never know if he comes back at this rate.
I've been gone for a very long time. Surprise, it's me.
But for this review, I'm merely going to focus on the 4 special that he has released currently, not about any of the stuff people have seen him do on his tours or what he's been doing before the big announcement with Netflix or with him being on SNL, just focusing on the stand-up. And why I believe this is a better version of Dave than when he was with the Chappelle Show. Now, I know a bunch of you guys have fallen in love with him from his many different characters and so forth and so on from the Chappelle Show. Silky Johnson, the fake Rick James, the fake Prince, Tyrone Biggums, the janitor from It's a Wonderful Chest, P. Diddy, Lil Jon, Clayton Bigsby, that's a popular one. The list can go on and on and on about all the personas that he has played on that thing. We all know that Dave is a comedic legend with his stuff from the Chappelle Show. That's not what we're trying to discuss here. There are a lot of factors that have come out in various lights that have shown that Dave and the Chappelle Show have never been his true goal, which we'll get into later. The first thing I would like to focus on involves this small little thing of Dave has become more introspective in his years. Now, I know a lot of you guys would be like, yeah, Dave's always been introspective in small quantities about things. No. Now that he's reached a certain part of his life where he's seen so much go on behind the scenes, he's trying to focus more and more on being a family man instead of the comic legend people just want him to be all the fucking time. He's really giving a lot of really good introspective notes from many different individuals, not just trying to pass them off as, I wrote these kick-ass jokes that I hope you guys can find humor in and maybe some lessons in about the human condition and whatnot. Actual introspective things. Sometimes going over historical factors that kind of cater back into jokes. Other times about why he was truly missing, to many different things that we should hear since it's very important. Things about the world that we live in from an American standpoint. What can happen when you look too closely and miss all the important factors in front of you. The true evils that come from the entertainment industry. And it goes on and on and on. But that's just from the introspective thing, and I'm already giving this man a lot of praise. The second thing is the fact that when you hear his stand-up now, you still laugh, but you can hear that, at least from how he pointed out, the computer keeps fucking up, but you can hear in Dave's voice from a lot of different things in his stand-up now that he feels like his time is running short. And I don't mean like he's going to die or anything. God forbid we don't want to have another comedian convinced that he is going to die. Or another celebrity in general that's convinced that he's going to die soon after he does something or records something. Or she at this rate, because a lot of female celebrities and comics tend to do the same thing too. I mean the fact that in certain parts of his stand-ups now, you can hear that sadness in his range that pretty much tells you up front, I don't think I'll be around a long time to tell the jokes that I want to tell, do the stages I want to perform on. All these sort of things, you can just tell from his energy and his aura off the bat that he is counting down the days of how many times I can tell these jokes, make these commentaries, do all of these things on a grander scale, and still expect to be as great as people say I am, from all the fans, my family, my friends, everyone in general that holds me at such a high praise. You can tell that from Dave's whole perspective, that he is literally counting down from his own mindset that this whole train ride that he's going on now for his comedy, its stop is coming very, very soon, and he has no idea when. And the final thing I'm pretty sure my computer will allow me to say at this point in time will just be the fact that the energy and the vibe that you get from Dave of not only the introspection and the fact that he literally senses that his time is running short. There are certain comedians that you can just tell off the bat they don't know a lot of suffering even after the years upon years they've been in stand-up. And I mean people like Amy Schumer, as much as I enjoy the man, Conan O'Brien, and just a multitude of other Mike Epps on a personal level. Just many different comedians I can name off the bat that either I don't understand their comedy, or I don't feel like they're strong comedians, but stronger actors in certain regards. But with Dave, you can just tell that from being an 18-year-old telling jokes for drug dealers and being named the Kid by Whoopi Goldberg to rise into fame at such a nice rate, but still being shafted by the entertainment industry for years. Even before he got his first official show of the Chappelle Show that stayed on, there was stuff like Buddies, or being a small bit character in things like The Nutty Professor, or in Blue Streak. Just many different, even Con Air, many different films and so forth and so on, where you just still feel like there's some shafting going on with how to treat Dave, but none more prevalent than after the Chappelle Show. And from there, and trying to build his whole thing back up, trying to go through all the abuse that Hollywood has treated him for many different years on his way back to the spotlight now, you can tell that there's a lot of deep-seated wounds there that even though he's gotten past it, they still resonate in all of his words, his vernacular, his execution, his punchlines. There is a lot of pain that comes with comedy that the more you suffer in a lot of regards, the more hilarious your material ends up being. It's why a lot of the greatest comedians have the saddest lives, because they hold so much damage in their heart and soul and minds that it's unbearable at times. I try to do this whole thing of an introspective / analyzation / review thing of Dave, not just because I've been a huge fan of him for years, but because after seeing all of these stand-ups now in comparison to all the other stuff from what he did on HBO and whatnot, I can honestly say that the Dave I grew up with is not the same Dave as the one I'm watching now. He is a much grander man that I want to learn from, a much more introspectively talented man I want to listen to, and definitely someone I could see rising above even the greatest of all times.
That's beautiful, man.
And so, since I still have to keep this as a reviewer standpoint from all the stuff I just glared over in the analyzation route, let me just say that for the review aspect of all 4 specials, the first 2 are fine. Age of Spin and Heart of Texas, albeit a good return and then a good follow-up. The Age of Spin, although good with its introspective quotes and how to do all the punchlines and whatnot, I could feel it wasn't Dave's best. And then Heart of Texas, yeah, I don't really like Texas.
Don't you dare take the name of Texas in vain!
It's nothing personal against Texans out there, I just don't like the state. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a shape or the fact that it's just trying to act like it's better than everyone else. What the fuck are you trying to do, Texas? Trying to all of a sudden grow legs and walk away all sassy like? I see yo ass. And then with a bunch of the other things, such as the third special, which I can't pronounce at all, and then the Bird's Revelation, quite frankly, the best tail end and final special that Dave could do. Both had great jokes, great quotes, great introspective, great punchlines, great energy and vibe that you could honestly feel was how Dave wanted to sell off his final words if this was indeed his final romp through the comedy era. Whether or not he'll return or not, this is him leaving his last huge step, where everything else that comes from this, it's just merely for play at this point. And with that being said, just to kind of wrap up the small review thing, since I wanted to be more analytical than review based, I'm just gonna throw this out there from 1, 2, 3. 9.7 out of 13 on a personal level, since comedy is subjective. Gonna give it a B+, because comedy is a perspective, like I said before, and 4 out of 7 star rating. And so, I can now finally wrap up Netflix month, hopefully on time for a change, and I'll see you guys in some actual big reviews I've been planning for a long time now. And computer, stop fighting me!
Legends never die, legends never die, legends never die, legends never die. Big guy shot, pot got dropped, but legends never die, legends never, let's work. Legends never die.